Congratulations for making it. Congratulations, we did it. Congratulations, we made it. After we're going to clap hands for ourselves a little bit. Every single one of you here, sitting in this auditorium, have made a great impact on the graduates who sit here today. Like a ripple effect, the actions, words, and the prayers you have always rendered to each individual seated in this place for the last 4 or 5 years were passed on from individual to individual, and the masses that sit here today, growth in these prestigious gowns and wisdom hearts is the resulting effect. You have been the engine that has driven this vehicle of success. And to the administrators, lecturers, professors that are here, I would like to thank you. I would really love to thank you. Not just thank you, but I'd like to thank you using the words of Abraham Lincoln. His words were, and I quote, "My best friend is a person who gave me a book that I did not read." All of us here, you gave us books we never read. And if you go by his words, then according to us, you were and you are our friends. Thank you. And the book actually they gave us is more than just a book. It is the book of knowledge. You have made us understand that the betterment of any future is founded on the assimilation of an acceptance of education and a good education system, I might add, in making a decision to dedicate your time to teach, guide, and advance all students at the university. You have consciously opened the door to a new one of opportunities for all of us. Today we celebrate commencement. Today we celebrate a new beginning. Today we celebrate a new start because of you. Once again, thank you. To my classmates, we have survived sleepless nights of doing research and fighting hard to meet deadlines. We have survived hours of sweat and hard work to get a good grades and amiable reports. How about our collaborative efforts in finalizing group work and presenting projects? To some, those memories are welcomed with a sigh of relief, while to others, it is coupled with feelings of nostalgia as we look back on the good memories that we shall all miss. Yet my ambivalence of this day stems from the very fact that this ceremony is not only the end of an unjust journey, but the start of a new one. Success is never a destination. Success is a journey. And I repeat on that, success is never a destination. Success is a journey. From here onwards, we'll look forward to a future that will require even more dedication and commitment than we have ever had to give. A future that will require us to be dynamic, not static, resilient, and not vulnerable. Where we are headed points at the sea of change in our society. We are moving from the comfortable walls we had grown accustomed to an entrepreneurial society that demands more than the base from us every single second, and we cannot allow ourselves to fall off the wagon now. Peter Drucker once said, "You cannot stop change. You have to get ahead of it." And if you have seen that statement, it resonates with our university's motto: think ahead, stay ahead. Now the question many of you might have right now is this simple question: where do we go from here? The answer to this question is as varied as the students who make up this year's graduation class. Some of us know exactly which step to take from here, and others are still on the crossroads. However, whether you will get a full-time job, whether you get a part-time, an internship, many of us will agree that the University of Lilongwe was the perfect place to foster our bodies and our minds in this critical learning phase. Today, we have become a hub that has created champions and victors. In closing, let me say this, my fellow classmates. You have to go through life with more than just passion for change. I repeat, and I put more emphasis on that one. This is for my fellow classmates. You have to go through life with more than just passion for change. You need a strategy. You need a strategy. I will repeat that. You can have passion, but you have to have strategy. Passion keeps you up at night, but strategy drives you. You need to have more than just awareness, but you must have action. Awareness opens your mind. Action exercises it. You need to have more than just hashtags for social media. You need to have an impact. Not just impact, real-time, tangible, lifelong impact. Yes, these three must remain: strategy, action, and impact. Remember, you are not going to get very far in life based on what you have already known. You are going to advance in life by what you are going to learn after you leave here. Do not stop learning and pursuing knowledge. Education does not stop after you graduate from college. It does not stop after you finish your MBA or your PhD either. As the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organizations, UNESCO, reminds us, education is a lifelong process. Manka says, wisdom acquisition is a moral duty. It's not just something you do to advance in life. It is a moral duty because it is only through continuous learning that we can add to the vast knowledge of mankind. If we stop learning, progress in all areas of human endeavors stops as well. One of the greatest teachers of our time, Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam, the 11th President of India, had this message for us today. And I quote, "If you fail, never give up, because FAIL, fail, means first attempt in learning. And is not the end. In fact, END, end, means effort never dies. If you get no as an answer, remember, NO, no, means next opportunity. So let us remain positive. Let us be resilient. Congratulations one more time. Thank you all for your attention. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Chef Bushiri, for that wonderful, inspiring, and motivating speech. Honorable Deputy Minister of Education, please, at this moment, allow me to invite a student representative for Amite to come and give us brief remarks about their learning experience. If we have, please come forward.
Once again, I'm standing here representing the online learning students at the University of Lilongwe, at our university, online university, is Amity of India. The guest of honor, Honorable Deputy Minister of Education, Madalitso Gambawa Winima MP, the University of Lilongwe President, Dr. Francis Nkandawire, the Registrar of the University, Amity Center Coordinator, graduating students, as well as continuing students, parents and guardians, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Amity Online Learning graduating students, and indeed on my own behalf, I would like to thank parents, sponsors, and guardians for their selflessness to pay fees for all graduating students. Honorable Deputy Minister, on behalf of my fellow students, let me thank you for spending your time, your precious time, to grace this occasion. Honorable Deputy Minister, online learning is as rigorous as attending physical classes, and it brings self-discipline. The Amity online learning syllabus is very comprehensive, such that it may even surpass some university syllabus. To the President of Univeristy of Lilongwe, we say thank you for introducing the online learning at your campus. The campus has reduced transportation costs, and what have you, especially for those who were to do the same MBA in India. It would have been very difficult for some of us to do that, but because we have this online learning, things have been, learning has been made simple. We would like to assure the lecturers, parents, employers, and prospective employers that the time we spent here has been well spent, as we have gained knowledge that will make us compete favorably with students from other colleges on the job market for those that are going to seek employment. Others have decided to employ themselves in the short run, and we can see them creating employment for others in the long run. Finally, I would like to ask the President to consider introducing doctorate degrees at the university, as is already offering master's degrees online. It is my belief that Malawi will continue to develop if we have well-learned people with the right attitude. Once again, Honorable Minister, the President, and the whole congregations, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Those were the remarks from a student representative of the group of students who are studying under Amity University. And I think that the remarks highlight a number of things that I'm sure that the ministry as policy holder, the university as the implementer of the needs that exist in the job market, that will give it serious consideration as well. At this point, Honorable Deputy Minister of Education, please allow me to invite Mr. J.R. Kandawire to give us a speech as the chairman of Bambino Corporation. Thank you.
The guest of honor, Honorable Deputy Minister of Education, Science and Technology. Is that the new term? I think I'm out of step with it. Mrs. Madalizo Wilima Ambawa MP, and officials from the ministry. Representatives of the National Council for Higher Education, if they're here present. The Bambino Corporation directors here present, Professor Francis Weraweta Kandawire, who is also the President and Chancellor of the University, Deans of various programs and all faculty members, Dr. Charles Fordia, Director for the Amity Program and all staff associated with this program, members of the Salvation Army Brass Band, members of the press, all parents and guardians and invited guests. Last but not least, the graduates, I welcome you. When I stood here during the last graduation of our first cohort undergraduate and postgraduate students, and the third cohort of Amity graduates, I had said that Bambino as an institution had attained full maturity, and like good wine, it had gotten better with age. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing yet another milestone with the graduation of the second congregation of 23 that are graduating today from the University of Lilongwe, and the fourth congregation of 8 from Amity. You will note from these figures that this time around, the University of Lilongwe has produced more graduating students than that of Amity, when it should have been the other way around, in view of the COVID environment. Emphasis ought to have been directed to full development of e-learning as logic would dictate. It would appear that this has not been the case. I sincerely thank our partners, Amity, for their continued trust in our ability to carry the programs that they offer through. I wish to thank all the stakeholders, particularly the graduates and the current students, for the trust and confidence they continue to place in our ability to deliver. Honorable Deputy Minister, ladies and gentlemen, the theme of the graduation not only captures the spirit of our time, Zeitgeist in German. I have deliberately slotted in German, as Bambino schools are the only schools in Malawi that teaches German as a language. It captures the times we are experiencing as a country in general, but also the times our university finds itself in particular, the University of Lilongwe embodies the theme resilience and commitment in pursuit for excellence. Honorable Deputy Minister, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I will not dwell at attempting to persuade you to share my understanding of what the resilience and commitments are. I will leave that task to the academics here present. However, dictionaries define resilience as the capacity to recover quickly from knocks and shocks, the ability to bounce back, or if you like, the ability to withstand hardship and attain a hardened, tempered, and mutated state. This applies, as in the case of the university, to students, faculty, and the institution, to differing degrees, of course. While students and faculty resilience may be well elaborated by the students, as has been amply elaborated by the students' representatives and faculty themselves. Institutional resilience can be described from a business viewpoint. The COVID pandemic, for instance, has tested private institutions to the limit. Executive orders and directives are meted out to serve the bigger picture, but may not always take into account business implications. Without the provision of safety nets and bailout options, private sector has had to re-engineer their processes, not only to ensure business survival, but also staff and student welfare in our case. We have learned, first, that COVID-19 has confirmed a long-standing belief by Bambino Corporation that teaching, learning, and research ought to be transformed. Traditional approaches will not work anymore. In other words, traditional approaches to education is rapidly disintegrating, and in its place, a new education paradigm is being rolled out. One in which, for higher education, platforms will be characterized by co-creation of knowledge by both private and public sector. The dictates of the enabler of 4 and 5 of the 2063 vision document states as follows, and I quote, "We shall have a dynamic and vibrant private sector that effectively delivers on the industrialized upper middle income status within the shortest time possible." That is pillar number 4. The other quotation is that we shall have a global, competitive, and highly motivated human resource. That is pillar number 5 of human capital development. If a higher education sector is not in sync with these demands, then it will be rendered obsolete. Both regulators and policymakers, therefore, have a critical role to play, as well as in ensuring that these goals are achieved. I will not dwell on the comments or to comment on the commitment, as I think it's a much less complex subject. Lastly, Honorable Deputy Minister, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to share with you the strategic direction we think will promote higher education, especially in the private sector. Naturally, Lilongwe University will aim to be at the forefront of contributing to the 2063 agenda as has been set by our government. I will cite some issues in this respect that we have encountered in this endeavor. Regulatory bodies and policies that are draconic in nature do not nurture quality. They stifle growth, demotivate investors, and kill the spirit of enterprise, upon which many economies have been built. Alluded to the spirit of entrepreneurship. It's embracing that spirit that we can actually enhance private sector growth, which is an engine to every economic system. A system in which regulatory bodies and their teams of appraisers and assessors are bent towards rent-seeking culture and perpetuate a culture of allowances, which not only goes against the current regime's vision, but also deters investors to make any substantial investment in the economy. So do archaic enrollment requirement frameworks and necessary and prolonged processes of institutional and program registration, as well as accreditation. These practices, Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, have not established a culture of quality, but rather encouraged underhand tactics to get past mundane procedures. Policies that treat private higher education sector as dismissive attitudes have contributed to the stagnation of the country's development indices and as compared to our neighbors who liberated the education sector at the same time as ourselves. In this example, I think Zambia is a case in point. They are way, way, way ahead of us. With hindsight, we can state here that we have been prophetic in our approaches as a university, as the University of Lilongwe. Not to a level of our graduate Major 1 Prophet Bushiri, obviously. But at the time we were advocating investment in and establishing an online library our regulators were still insisting that we invest in brick and mortar structures. Obviously, they did not see the fires that destroyed Mzuzu and Cape Town University libraries coming. They did not see COVID-19 pandemic coming. When we established links with Amity University for e-learning, they doubted our choice of partnership and even stopped us recruiting students. Again, they did not see COVID coming. Presently, even big universities like Harvard and Oxford and Cambridge offer only e-learning for some courses. At the time, we pointed out that the education sector can learn from other sectors, for example, aviation, regarding licensing and oversight. Our regulators chose to reinvent the wheel. Honorable Deputy Minister, ladies and gentlemen, innovation cannot be postponed, nor can it be stopped. And in this thinking, we have been vindicated, albeit that it had to take a pandemic of global proportions to wake us up. On a more, I would say, motivational note, to the graduates, let me say this, that while we are celebrating yet another feather in our caps, let us not only hold our heads high and bear the Bambino and Amity torch with pride and dignity, but also stand out to be counted as leaders in society. Dictate your pursuits to those activities that will make us not only respectable in life, but useful to mankind and catalysts of the development of this beautiful country of ours. Education and training not only equip you with useful tools, but is how you apply these tools that will determine your success going forward. The tools that you have acquired, and I hope you continue to hone, will give you essential individual capacities to survive not only in an environment characterized by unfair competition, corruption, and selfishness, but also for you to survive and flourish in an environment endowed with so many opportunities. As Chris Grosser once said, opportunities don't happen. Opportunities are created, and you can create them. You have earned your wings on merit, and as such, remember this: rising to eminence by merit, you will live respected and die regretted. I will repeat that. Rising to eminence by merit, you will live respected and die regretted. The guests of honor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your attention, and may the great architect of the universe protect and guide us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, for that inspiring speech. I hope it has inspired us. I hope it has highlighted some of the important issues which need a bit more serious consideration. At this point,